world leaders gather in Kyiv to mark 3 years since Russia's invasion of Ukraine. They have just announced a 16th sanctions package against Russian companies. And President Volodymyr Zelenskyy is taking the day to highlight the heroism of his country. Here you see cities across the world showing their solidarity with Ukraine on the eve of this anniversary. The UN is set to vote today on a resolution demanding Russian troops leave Ukraine, as Zelenskyy says he'd resign as president under certain conditions. NewsNation's Caitlin Becker is outside the UN building in New York this morning. Caitlin, good morning to you. So walk us through this. What all did Zelenskyy say it would take for him to step down?
Well, Markie, to put it really simply, it's the country's peace in for his presidency. That's really the trade-off there. And his statements coming more than 1,000 days after this bloody conflict first began. And we're talking 3 years now. And to mark that 3-year anniversary of the Russian invasion, Zelenskyy took to social media this morning to honor the, quote, eternal memory to all who stood up in defense of his country. Now, at a forum in Kyiv on Sunday, Zelenskyy said he would step down from his presidency in order to stop the ongoing Russian onslaught. He also suggested that he'd leave in exchange for NATO membership. And the fighting, it just continues, with the Kremlin launching the largest drone attack to date on Sunday. Zelenskyy claiming Moscow sent 267 drones total, targeting 13 regions, but Kyiv said it intercepted nearly 140 of them. Now, Markie, it's still a big question whether the Ukrainian president would actually step down there or if NATO membership is even a realistic possibility. That's been a question for a while now. So he made these comments really in passing, so it wasn't anything official yet, Markie.
Yeah, a lot of conversations ratcheting up here, a lot of quick changes. Caitlin, in this case, how likely is a peace deal on the horizon?
You know, Markie, that is a really simple question with a really complicated answer. World leaders are set to meet this week, and we do know that the U.S. is really pushing for a peace deal. But there's a big caveat there. It gets very complicated when it comes to Zelensky's relationship with the Trump administration in particular. Trump recently saying that Volodymyr Zelenskyy, he called him a, quote, dictator without elections. And Ukraine has largely been left out of the initial peace talks with Russia. President Trump also has suggested recently that Ukraine was responsible for starting this war, but there is no evidence that that is the case. And then back to that NATO membership question. And membership into NATO has long been a non-starter for Vladimir Putin. So if that's on the table, it could really hamper those peace talks. And U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth indicating recently that NATO membership is just not on the table when it comes to a peace deal, Markie.
A lot on the line here. Caitlin Becker, thank you so much, live from New York this morning. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.